Hey guys, Scott here. Another short, meaningless video. It's entertaining. I say what you want. It's entertaining to me. But so the last video was about Dowsey having his Twitch shirt taken away because he criticized what Patrick, the lead game designer of DBD, said on his Q&A. Which there were some doubts surrounding the scenario. I was like, oh come on, there had to be something else, right? But no, it turns out that's exactly why they took it away. And I wanted to go over the response that he received for why they took it away. So we assume this was the case, so that's not really surprising. But just the way they worded it, I have a pretty big problem with. It indicates that the developers are not really acting as a company; they're acting as very thin-skinned children almost, which I don't think is whatever. You can do whatever the hell you want. Obviously, I'm not saying because you're part of a company, you're not a human being, and I hope I'm not, conveying that message. They are all humans, and I've actually met a lot of them, and they're actually really nice people. Dude, I still have from the very first TwitchCon, the artist of DBD, he signed this awesome drawing. Like they're actually good people. So that's why when people like shit on them needlessly, I actually kind of get annoyed because they are genuinely good people for the most part. I haven't obviously met all of them or even the majority of them, but the people that I have met are really, really awesome people. The thing is, though, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, all right. So the main reason that they said that he took it away was the standards of exemplary conduct that content creators who own these items are expected to uphold. First of all, that whole line is bullshit. There's just no exemplary conduct that you're supposed to uphold. How you get the shirt is you're a Twitch streamer and you ask for it, and that's it. There's no like contract you sign or anything. It's not like even Fog Whispers have a certain set of rules. My fiance was in that for a while, and there was actually a set of rules. Not so the case with this. You don't have to have exemplary conduct to have a Twitch shirt. I know a lot of little shits that had a Twitch shirt, like my fiance. She was a little shit in this game, and she still had it and it was fine. So that whole line is bullshit. You don't have to have exemplary conduct. Now, obviously, you can't be like a hateful, racist piece of shit or something. Like you can't be an asshole, but there was really no guidelines. It was just you're a streamer, you get the shirt. That's it. To ask for it, obviously, and they had to, approve it, but that was basically where the line was drawn. I've never actually heard of a Twitch shirt being taken away before. Fog Whisper being taken away, I've never heard of the actual shirt itself being taken away. So this ruling just seems to just be new or non-existent to begin with. But that's all whatever. The main part I want to focus on is, in this case, targeting a member of the development team. This is where I kind of get annoyed, and I think it's bullshit. Okay, so if you have a public Q&A, which is great, I'm glad they do that. I just wish they actually had answers. But if you do a public Q&A and the lead game designer comes onto a public forum and gives responses to these questions, if people analyze the responses to these questions that you made on a public forum, that's not targeted harassment. That's just responding to the things that you said. He's not saying go say Patrick sucks. Even in the video, he doesn't say anything mean about Patrick. In his tweet, he didn't say anything like specifically mean about Patrick. Probably the meanest thing Dowsey says in his video is, I don't think Patrick understands X, which I think, given like he said that after the hockey analogy, I think is completely fair because that analogy made no sense. That's not targeted harassment. It's just the thing that happened. I don't know how to sugarcoat that anymore. He didn't really target him and be mean or anything. If the lead game designer was answering questions and Dowsey was responding and I was responding, anyone that responded to it was responding to the things that he said on a public what are you doing? Responded on a public forum. So I don't view that as like targeting a member of the development team. How else are you supposed to discuss the Q&A? Or are you supposed to just say like, okay, a developer made a commentary where he compared DBD to hockey, or a developer made a commentary where he was talking about how hooks don't matter. A developer, like, what is the point of that? We all watched the Q&A. We know who said that thing. It was public. If you try, what's the point of masking? What are you going to put like a face filter over him and modulate his voice? Like, even if you talk in vagaries where you're not really specifically mentioning what Patrick said, you can just say the devs in general said this. People still know you're talking about the guy who said it because it just happened on a public forum. That's not targeted harassment. That's just you discussing what a developer said about the game. So all this comes off to me as just super thin-skinned, like taking criticism on what you're saying as personal attacks. And I think as a company, a very large, they're not an indie company anymore. They're a very large game company. You shouldn't do that. And I'm not saying we should dehumanize them either. That's the other side of the argument that people take too far. People do dehumanize these devs, and I think that is equally shitty. But to have such thin skin about even light criticism, it wasn't even like personal about Patrick. It was just about the things he said and how a lot of them didn't really make that much sense. That's it. To be so peeved by that you ask someone on your dev team to go and specifically remove a cosmetic for someone for rules broken that didn't even exist prior to this moment, that comes off as just super petty, childish, and like they're made of glass, which it's not very becoming of them. Again, they're human beings. I get that. And you shouldn't just needlessly shit on them. But he wasn't needlessly shitting on the person. He was shitting on the argument that the person made. And if we reference the argument that the person made, people are going to know who you're talking about. So why beat around the bush and be passive aggressive about it? Just say, this is what Patrick said instead of this is what the dev said. We all know who he's talking about. What's the difference? That's all. A little annoyed, but whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.